Hello YouTubers, I am back with a review for Skyrim. Yeah, finally. If you've been on my website, you would have seen the announcement I posted that I'm going to paste Sims 3 and Sims 3 Ambitions for the PC and also maybe Skyrim. Those other reviews, Sims 3, they're gonna kind of have to wait because I love Skyrim right now and it's really the only game that I'm playing right now, except for, I can't play it because this computer is not mine. So when I play it, that's the only game I play whenever I have an option. I ask my mom, can I play Skyrim? And she says, yes, play Skyrim. Okay, I play Skyrim. I drop everything I'm doing and I play Skyrim. So Skyrim is basically an RPG adventure that is awesome. I recommend you buy it for the PC. The consoles have a bunch of bugs. The PC also has got bugs too, but not really too many that I've seen to break immersion. Although it is kind of funny how the logic of the horses is in this game. It's the logic being that they're kind of like mountain goats. They can climb basically any mountain as long as you don't sprint with the horse, run with the horse, because then they go through the textures of the mountain, which I'll get back to, or you'll just see as I'm riding around. So, as I was saying, you can choose, normally in RPGs you choose a preset, like whether your character is a mage, a battle mage, a warrior, a thief, alchemist? No, alchemist is a skill. Wizard, I already... Okay, I guess, oh, right, Ranger. There's Ranger 2. Normally you have to... What the... I see there's a glitch right there. Anyway, so Ranger, and if there's another class I forgot to mention, sorry, I'm not really interested in classes right now, because in this game you don't really concern yourself with classes. At the beginning of the game you basically just have your guy. You start out as a prisoner, and you basically just create your character, and that's it. You create your character, and then as you play through the story mode, you can decide what you want to be. And as I mentioned, it's role-playing, and because it's role-playing, if you do something a certain amount of times, say you use a lot of two-handed weapons and destructive magic, if you use those a lot, you'll level them up. And the leveling up system is really good in this game compared to other leveling up systems that I've seen in other games, and I'm going to show you right now. Skills, you can level up everything. Like if you keep using destruction magic, it'll level up to different levels. Like you'll start with your levels, certain levels will be base levels when you start the game. Like for example, sneaking will be like 25 for Khajiits, and some other skills will be higher and lower depending on what race you pick, and each race has their own special abilities. For example, the Khajiits have a ability called Night Eye, which allows them to see in the dark better for 60 seconds. And basically these are all the skills that you can master. You can master alchemy, you can master illusion spells, conjuration, restoration, destruction, alteration, enchanting, smithing, heavy armor, block, two-handed, one-handed, archery, light armor, sneak, lockpicking, pickpocketing, speech, alchemy, illusion. I'm just going around in circles. And also the leveling up system when you level your character up is good. I find it awesome because of course it's awesome. The whole game is awesome. You should definitely buy it. It's good because when you level up, you pick whether or not you want to invest 10 points, I think it is, in either health, magicka, or stamina. I should tell you right now, if you want to be a pack rat and you have this on a console and you don't know this, if you level up a lot and if you invest a lot of leveling up points in stamina, you will also increase the amount of time you can sprint, also power attacks you can do, and also increase your carrying capacity. Yes, stamina increases your carrying capacity. Say you have like 200 carrying capacity. You level up, and then you choose stamina, and you get 10 more points in carrying weight for stamina. That didn't sound right. You get 10 more points for carrying weight if you choose to pick stamina. And health obviously increases your overall health so you don't die. And magicka obviously increases your magicka and the amount of spells you can cast. And the leveling up system also has these things called perks. Like each time you level up, you get a perk that you can invest in different abilities, like say cast novice spells, illusion spells for half magicka, archery, potions and poisons you make are 20% stronger. Potions you mix that restore health and health, magicka or stamina are 25% more powerful. And as you level up, you get these perk points, as I said, and you invest them in whatever you want. Don't be fooled by the archery. That is actually a console command that I used, and I'm gonna tell you a console command that is very useful. But if you want to have like a genuine experience, don't use it because it basically makes you invincible. So that's the leveling up part of the game, and the inventory is not really the best, but you can find a mod on the Skyrim Nexus, which you also have to create a free account for. If you are gonna create a free account on the Nexus or the Steam or basically any account, I know this is probably stupid to tell you, but really write it down, because I mean I created like I don't know, 3 accounts on the Nexus for the mods, and like the first time I created it, I was like, okay, I created that password and stuff, but then when I wanted to log in, I forgot my password and I forgot my username, and then I had to create another account, then I forgot that too, and then when I created a 3rd account, I finally smartened up and wrote it down on my phone, so now I have it. I have my Steam, I have my Nexus. Also, Steam also has a workshop for Skyrim mods, but the Steam is not as good as the Nexus, so go to the Nexus. If you find something you want on Steam, find it on the Nexus. It's a little bit better. So, speaking about mods, this is going to be a long review, so if you want to know whether or not you should buy this game, definitely buy it. I highly recommend it. A must-have if you have a I'm still on PS, please. A must-have if you have a PC. Oh, is that a dragon? Yeah, dragons are in this game. Yeah, something I forgot to mention. So, what are you guys shooting at? Bandits? Okay. So, hold on. Let me just get this guy. Stop moonwalking! Get over here!
You make a fine rocket cat.
Oh, finally! Okay. So, like I said, mods are nice, but they are also warning. They are also for adults. There are mods there for adults, so be wary of that if you have children and then someone's planning to buy Skyrim, because it's... anyway. So... okay, I kind of lost myself for a minute, but getting back to the gameplay, is that it's the combat style is definitely, from what I've heard, it's better than Oblivion. I haven't played it, but if it's better than Oblivion, at least it's okay, but... okay. So it's better than Oblivion, but it's still a little bit clunky. The combat system's okay, I guess. You can find a mod on the Nexus that improves the battle combat in the game. It's called Deadlier Combat, or More Deadly Combat, something like that. Anyway, getting to the story is quite interesting, because there are so many side quests in this game. You can basically do just like a few story quests, and then you can just like do a bunch of side quests, and you'll still be entertained. Oh, well, how about that? I didn't even need to shoot him. Anyway, like I said, you can do a bunch of side quests and not even pay the main story much attention, and you'll still be entertained and get your money's worth. Actually, I think most people will find this as a negative, because this game is so big and it gives you so much for the price that you get, especially now since I got it, like I think more than 2 years after it's been released, because you know, I was a console fanboy, only PSP because my PS2 broke and I was stubborn and I didn't want to play PC games. But when I found Skyrim, I just fell in love with it, and trust me, if you like RPGs, you will fall in love too. Is that that's my voice. What are you? Alright. Die.
I'm going to put you.
Oh yeah. Another thing I forgot to mention is that there are kill cams in this game, which when you get a critical hit on an opponent, not all the time, sometimes the camera will pull into third person if you're in first person and show you a kill cam of the person that you've killed. These are random, they don't expect them to be very frequent, which is good because it doesn't ruin it and make it dull. So like I was saying, the story basically revolves around you being the Dragonborn, which is basically a human with the soul of a dragon, and you have to defeat this evil dragon called Alduin. And yeah, that's basically it. You have to figure... this might be a spoiler, I don't know, but if you don't like spoilers, even if this isn't a spoiler, just either fast forward or turn the music off, cover your ears, whatnot. So, from what I got far in the story is that in order to defeat him, you have to learn this shout that... I don't remember the name of the shout, but supposedly it's supposed to ground a dragon. I guess, from what I understand, like you shout at the dragon, then the dragon plops to the ground, I guess. I don't know because I didn't really get that far in the story. I mean, I did get pretty far, maybe not that much, but I did kind of stop doing main quests and started doing side quests. And that's pretty much it for the story. The story is also interesting. I mean, it could be worse. I mean, it could be worse than other games. For example, I don't want to point fingers, but Third Birthday for the PSP was terrible. So, now that we've got the story out of the way, the combat and the leveling up system, and on me also boring you guys to tears and not getting to the meat of the gameplay, which I apologize for, I haven't done a review in a long time, and I'm kind of rusty. As you can tell by my commentary, I love Skyrim, as I said before. Definitely buy it. And other things that I'm going to cover, like when I said mods, for example, I'm going to cover mods right now. This is actually a mod. This bow you see on his back is actually a mod called Daedric Wrath Sniper Sight Bow, which you can find on the Nexus. I highly recommend finding it on the Nexus, and it's interesting because when you draw your bow, you get this little circle that is like a sniping. I forgot what it is. Sniping scope, yeah. And this is how it is when you're standing. And when you crouch, wrong button. When you crouch, it goes into this, which is I really like because I love sniping in games, and especially since this is another one of my new favorite games of all time. I'm glad that they included a mod that is for sniping. Next, moving on. Next mod. Like, yeah, you saw me wearing this dark cowl when I first started this review, and I have a mod installed from the Steam Workshop that if you wear a cowl that if you go into magic and then you go into active effects and you go down to the bottom, I have wearing mask, which it says this item conceals your identity when worn, which the mod is basically called Conceal Identity, which means that if you wear this, if you like say kill a bunch of people in a town, go on a rampage or a village, and then I think like you have to like disappear for a while and then take it off, or be undetected, be hidden, and then take it off, and then if you return to the city, if I'm not mistaken, you will have no bounty, the guards won't attack you, and everything will be hunky-dory. As hunky-dory as it can be after massacring just about everybody in the village that you were in. See if I can get this elk. Don't run away from me! I'm a hunter. You're the prey. going away. Anyway, so another mod that I have, let's just let you live. Okay. Another mod I have installed is this. Yeah. Now, for those of you who are not anime fans, this sword is actually from an anime called Naruto, and it's from a bad guy called Zabuza Momochi, which is a bad guy, obviously. And this sword is called Zabuza's Executioner's Sword, which is a sword that is one sword out of 6. These swords are called the 7 swords. The 7 legendary swords of the 7 scrap. Whatever, just type in Zabuza's Executioner's Sword, or just watch the first few episodes of the first season with Naruto, and you'll know the legend, I think, or no, the name of these swords, because there's a cool name for all of these swords. Anyway, I like this sword because it's huge, and I love Naruto, and also I just like the way it looks. I mean, it has a hole in the middle, and then it has that little circle, half circle. It's just badass. And I also like Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy VII has Sephiroth, and this is Sephiroth's sword, Masune. It's a long sword, if you can't tell, and he actually wields this, Sephiroth, in Final Fantasy VII. And yeah, that's another mod that I downloaded. It's called Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Buster Sword. Just so you know, this one might be kind of hard for you to get, because I downloaded the Buster Sword and I didn't have the Masune Sword, which was, I kind of had to rub my head a little and wonder, like, what the... Because I really wanted just the Buster Sword for decoration for my house, but... And I wanted to wield the Masune Sword, but for some reason I didn't have it. So when you click download the MMA, whatever, it's a mod manager that you have to download from the Skyrim Nexus. You can also download them manually, but that takes a lot more work, and if you download the manager, you can do it even quicker and easier. So yeah, I couldn't find it. So if you want this sword, go to that place and click, instead of install with mod manager, install manually. Then it will take you down the page for the files, and it will show Buster Sword, longer handle, and it will show Masune Sword. Download both of those if you don't already have the Buster Sword, and you will also have the Masune. Okay. And you'll also have the Masune Sword, because I didn't know this when I first downloaded the mod, and I was like, I want the Masune Sword, where is it? Tell me. So, yeah, just a little info there. And just so you know, I am playing this on a PC, like I said, and if you are wondering why when I click certain places it says like A or X or Y, contrary to where the controls would be E, R, and F, is that I have a Xbox controller that I connected to the PC, hence me being able to play with the controller, meaning I can relax, lay back on my chair, and play Skyrim without needing to stay straight on my laptop. Not my laptop. Anyway. So yeah, if you're gonna buy Skyrim for the PC, if you like buy a laptop that's like $1,500 lei or whatever currency you have, and you are buying Skyrim, which let's say adds another like 50 or 60 to it, why don't you add another 50 or 150 or 160 or however expensive the controller is in your currency and country? Just buy it. It'll be a lot more comfortable, and you'll thank me for it. And also, you won't need, if you buy an Xbox controller, you won't need to have a headache and going to certain sites and downloading certain links and programs for controllers, because I had a controller before this that wasn't an Xbox controller, and I went crazy looking on videos on YouTube how to control games, how to play games with a gamepad and stuff like that. And then I just thought, oh, the hell with it, let me just buy an Xbox controller, which I did, and now I can control this because it's easy, because it's easy because the Xbox controller comes with a CD that you install a program for, and you then you can just plug it in, and you just plug it in via USB, and you start up Skyrim. Of course, you won't be able to use it to control your mouse desktop, but you'll be able to use it for Skyrim. When it gets to the menu, you can use the analog sticks, you can use every single button. Every button will be already assigned. You can go into the options, go to settings, and go to controls, and you can choose what to assign what to what. And this also works for other games. I had the PC game for Need for Speed Underground, and that also was controller supported, and I just had to assign the buttons because it didn't automatically assign them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, if you're still with me, which if you are, I admire, because I tend to go into very detailed reviews, especially if it's a game that I like the City of Fantasy and other games. Especially since I love this one, and I'm not gonna hurry through the review. But like I said, if you're hurrying, buy the game. Don't sit on it. Just buy it. Have fun. Go crazy. And for example, just so I can show you how big this world is, this is Skyrim. This is the map. And look how much I discovered, and yet look how much I still have to discover. I have this part. See? Okay. Now, another thing I'm going to tell you is that there are also player homes in this game where you can buy a player home. The first player home you get is Whiterun. It's kind of small, and I really don't really like it that much, but it's a good place to store items if you're like in Whiterun and you don't want to go to a bigger house like, say, Markarth or Windhelm or Solitude. Now, the way you get your first house, Whiterun, is you first have to do some story missions, a few story missions, and soon after the Jarl appreciates your hard work, he will name you Thane of Whiterun. Give you a this is a good idea. I might run into bandits. Not necessarily mean a bad thing. Anyway. So yeah, you'll be named Thane of Whiterun, and you'll be given an axe. For some reason, I get a puny one-handed axe, which I hate, which I'm going to show you right now because I have it with me because I want to take it to a different place and put it up. There we go. See? Axe of Whiterun, which means that, basically makes you Thane of Whiterun, and this is like a weapon to prove it because it's from the Jarl's private armory. And you basically have to do the same thing for every hold. There are 9 holds in Skyrim: Markarth, Solitude, Windhelm, Whiterun. And basically what you have to do is you have to do certain quests. You have to do quests for the Jarl, you have to do quests for the people, you have to do quests for certain important people. You basically have to do... Oops, sorry, man. You have to do quests for basically, not everyone, but you have to do quests that will basically help the people of the hold that you are in, and if you succeed, the Jarl will appoint you Thane. For example, like I said, Thane of Whiterun, Thane of Markarth. I already am Thane of Markarth. I am Thane of Riften also, and I am also, like I said, Thane of Whiterun. There are, like I said, there are 9 player homes, and you can have all of them. You can also download player homes from the Nexus Workshop, and you can... And there's another mod that I forgot to tell you. There's this mod called a follower mod. You can have followers in this game that follow you around and help you on your quests, and they can carry your stuff. If you're playing on a console and you don't have the ability to download a mod that reduces the weight, or you can't enter a console command that will reduce the weight and you can carry everything and you can still sprint, do this. Have a companion with you. And then, if you want something, let's say, let me give you an example. Let me go into my inventory. I don't have a follower with me right now because I want to level up, but I'm going to give you an example. I don't want this, so I'm going to drop this. And if you have a follower with you, you talk to it, or she, him or she, and you say, I want you to do something for me. And they'll say, what can I do for you? Or whatever, depends on what character you pick. So you ask them to do that, and then once the conversation conversation tab disappears, you go over to the object you want them to pick up, say Ager's Bane, or whatever it is. It's basically a war axe. You click take, and they'll say, as you wish, my Thane, if it's like a Thane, that companion that was given you by the Jarl of a Hold. Or if it's a companion, I guess it'll say stuff like, good idea, or something like that. And that's how you can have unlimited inventory space. The inventory space of your follower is infinite. I haven't tried it because I have a console command on that I can carry basically everything. My carry weight is insane. It's like a 13 million and some hundreds. And you can also see my gold is crazy too. I actually accidentally put a bunch of gold with a console command, and now I'm trying to get rid of it. So yeah, the cheat that I have enabled is called God Mode. So basically, to enable God Mode, hold on, I'm deviating. So yeah, that's how you get infinite inventory space. You just get your follower to take it. If you trade it with him or she, he will either equip it, or I don't think you will be able to. Maybe he'll drop it, he or she will drop it at one time. I don't know all the details, but basically just do what I said. Don't trade it with them unless you want to give them a better set of armor. And you'll be able to get everything, you'll be able to have everything you want if you're a pack rat. Like me. I love being a pack rat. And if you don't know what a pack rat is a person in a video game who basically takes everything. Like if you're in a dungeon, I'll just take useless junk like wooden plates, iron tank cards, which are basically used for drinking. I'll take plates, I'll take bowls, I'll take... I'd take dust if I could, but I'll just take a bunch of useless junk. And the reason for that is that I have another mod installed, which is called Smelting Down Forging, I think, or whatever. It's a smelting mod that if you get certain items, for example, like tank cards and wooden plates, you can melt them down into the stuff that they were originally. Like a wooden plate will be piles of wood, a tank card, iron tank card will be an iron ingot, a dwarven shield will be a dwarven ingot, an ebony or an ebony shield will be an ebony ingot, a gold circlet, if you're lucky, will be a gold ingot. And you can also mine in this game too. Real mines, not Minecraft. And yeah, that's why I basically take a bunch of useless junk. And also take a bunch of ingredients. Ingredients, if you're on a console, will also have weight to them, but if you are on a PC, just go to the Nexus and type in weightless items. It'll give you a ring called a Ring of Himalayan Hauling. Equip that, and all the items you have equipped will be basically light as a feather, and you'll be able to run, and all the items that are ingredients and food will be 0 weight. Not all the items will be zero weight. The dragon bones will definitely be 0 weight if you have the mod installed, but not all of them are 0 weight, so take that into account. There are also books, bunches of books. I think over 800 books in Skyrim that you can collect and read. Let me show you, just so that you don't say that I'm feeding you a bunch of bull. Books, and see, you want to read A Minor Maze, you can read it. It's actually a nice touch because I love it when games go this far to include books that are written. And there are also diaries, journals, not diaries, journals. There are letters. There are basically a bunch to read if you want to further immerse yourself in the game. So, getting back to mods, there was a mod that I mentioned earlier that I really highly recommend if you like followers and you want a follower. His name's Inigo. Find him on the Nexus Workshop. He is well worth looking for. He's awesome. He has over 1,000 lines of dialogue, and he also comes with his own story called Inigo the Brave that he has been writing for himself, you know. And it's actually an interesting thing because Inigo actually is linked to the player, because before you are sentenced to be executed in Helgen at the start of the game. Spoiler alert, sorry, late, but anyway, when you are sent to be executed, before that, you basically were going with Inigo and he stabbed you in the back. Not literally, but I'm not gonna spoil the rest for you, but he is definitely a follower worth looking for. So you should definitely check him out. And on top of also having magic and weapons and stuff, you also have these things called shouts that are basically like your fourth weapon in combat. And it basically is like this. You have to kill dragons. Right, I forgot to say, there are dragons in this game. You kill dragons to absorb their souls because you are dragonborn. There. Now, you absorb dragon souls, and you absorb basically their knowledge of the language of the dragons, which is what was playing. It was the theme for the Elder Scrolls Skyrim. I was playing at the start of this review. And I'm gonna show you a few that I got right at the beginning of the game that I don't really use that often, but here's one. It's called the Fusro Da, and if you remember, if you've seen the trailer, now you won't be getting this particular Fusro Da because it is a mod. Go to the Nexus Workshop and type in the real Fusro Da, and when you install it, you'll be able to get different options, like whether or not you want the chanting, Greybeard's chanting, which is the voices in this singing, and you can also enable the thunder, that thunder effect that will appear. I disabled it, so if you just tap the shout button, it'll just be this, but if you hold it, you get the Fusro Da, and that's easy. The reason I can use it over and over, because normally you have to wait for the outline that you see at the top of the heads-up display. You have to wait until it goes all the way to the end. Then you can use the shot again. So basically, like I was saying, to enable God mode, you have to go to the console command menu, only for PC. Click the squiggly line that is next to the 1 button and underneath the escape button. It's kind of hard to find, but like I said, it's in the upper left corner underneath the escape button to the left of the 1 button. Just click that. It'll bring up the console command, and just click TGM, which means toggle God mode. And if you click enter, it'll enable God mode. I won't do that because I already have it enabled. If you want to disable it, just type in TGM again and it'll disable it. See? God mode disabled. And enable it again. And then if you want to exit, you just click the squiggly line again and you're back. You can also use this to spawn certain items, but I wouldn't recommend it unless you're like, you know, playing through the game the second time and you don't want the hassle of finding items like ebony ingots. So, that's console commands, and you can use that for certain things. Hence, you seeing that I have my smithing to an insane amount of smithing, which basically means that that's how I made my armor and my weapons one hit, and my armor, I made my weapons a one-hit weapon, and weapons, and my armor basically so good that I don't take damage. And here I have my archery, because the reason I made my archery insane too is because since I have the Daedric Wrath sniper bow, I wanted it to be like a real sniper rifle, so I increased it in crazy so that when I'm sneaking and I'm sniping, the enemies I hit will be killed instantly. So that way it's more like a sniping bow. Okay, so those are the console commands. And yeah, you can also craft items. Now you can also buy and sell items, but the shopkeepers won't actually always have a lot of gold on them. I'm gonna tell you how you can solve this, but first I'm gonna tell you, I love how they made the shopping in this game. You know how normally when you shop in a game, you sell stuff and it basically disappears when you sell it to the person? You know? Like you give them, say, a great sword, and then when you go into their inventory to see what they have to sell, the great sword isn't there, it just disappears. But in Skyrim, if you sell, let's say, a set of armor, an ebony armor set, helmet, gauntlets, shield, armor, boots, sword, and then you sell it to the person, and let's say you accidentally sold the shield and you want the shield back, you just go to that person's inventory and just click A, or whatever it is you have. If you're using a mouse and keyboard, you click whatever it is to buy, and you can buy it back, which I find good, because if you misclick on an item, you can recover it instead of having it lost forever. Now, what was I doing? So, like I was saying before, you can buy items, but you can also craft items. And certain items you can't buy. For example, the Zabuza sword you can't buy. You have to smith it at a smithing pit. And you can also improve your armor at a blacksmith's bench. That's where you improve your armor. And at a grindstone you improve your weapons. And there's also tanning racks, which you can use for leather and stuff, which you need like leather and leather strips to make certain weapons. And I'm just saying that the whole way you can customize your character, like see, this is Daedric armor and you have to have the Daedric smithing perk. I'm going to show you right now. Go here and you have what is it? Daedric smithing. Only when you have this perk you can make this this badass armor. Of course, this cowl doesn't really go with it, but you know, I want to be hidden. So, and it also comes with a helmet, but I don't really like the helmet because I want to see my character. And you might be thinking, well, he's wearing a cowl, you don't see your character. Well, I do see his face, and I always liked masks because they just look so cool. I mean, they hide your face, and then you just see those eyes like, I'm gonna kill you. And yeah, it's also a useful cowl. It's not just for show, so it conceals your identity. And the armor also looks badass. You can also make dragon armor. I did make dragon armor. I also recommend looking for a mod on the Nexus called Medusa and Dracul armor. It's also awesome and cool armor. I don't really like it that much because the Dracul armor has a cape that doesn't really fly, it glues to your character's feet. And I just don't like it. So, I know a lot of you are saying like, Shadowmere, I like Shadowmere, where can I get Shadowmere? Well, Shadowmere is only obtainable if you do Dark Brotherhood quests. If you get to the Dark Brotherhood quest, you have to go to Windhelm and find this kid that's basically wants to kill this orphan woman that runs an orphanage. Something Helga the Kind? No. Some woman, something the Kind. And you kill her, but you're not actually with the Dark Brotherhood, so you kill her, and then the Dark Brotherhood contacts you, and you get a letter from a courier that says, "We know," and when you see a hand on the letter, and then I got stumped too on how to activate the quest for the Dark Brotherhood so you can start to get Shadowmere. Basically just sleep after you get the letter, and you will wake up in a shack, and you'll meet Astrid, and you will be able to do quests. You have to do a bunch of quests, not a bunch, but you have to do an adequate amount of quests so you can get Shadowmere. And as you can see, yeah, I have Shadowmere. Oh no, I'm gonna die. Oh, no? Okay. I thought I was gonna die. Alright, disregard that last comment. And another thing that I found to be I love that they incorporated in this game is that if you drop an item, say glass armor or glass boots, ebony armor, and dwarven shield, an orc dagger, or something.
Did you see a dog out there?
Wait, what? Oh, right, the dog. Ah.
I don't know really. The blacksmith is offering a reward for a dog he saw on the road. I was hoping you'd seen it.
Ah.
I guess I'll stay on the lookout. Keep your nose clean while you're here, outsider.
Okay, so this is basically a mission, a quest for Daedric artifacts. Daedric artifacts are weapons of Daedric lords, which are basically like godlike creatures that if you do their quests, you can get certain rare items. For example, do I even have a, oh right, I have one called the Merun's Razor. Just get to the M's. This it's a special dagger that has a special ability that says hits have a small chance of instantly killing. Although now I can basically instant kill anyone I want, but it has a 3% chance of instant killing someone, and also it's a very nice Daedric artifacts. There are Daedric artifacts that you have to engage quests to find. There are 15 in total. And that you just saw with the guard asking for the dog, that is a quest for finding a dog so that you can, a talking dog called Barbos, that you have to find some sort of, whatever, I'm not gonna spoil it, but just, where am I? As you can see, I have a bunch of miscellaneous quests and a bunch of main important quests. And only a few of these are actually the main quests. Okay, I am in... Where am I? Oh, I'm in Falkreath. Okay, so you need to go to Falkreath to engage this quest. Basically, just answer the question the guards have about a dog. I didn't do this quest. I'm glad that I came here because I've been wanting to do this quest because I think I can get an axe out of it. Actually, I don't want to. I think I'll get an axe. You can either get an axe or a helmet. A mask. Yeah, a mask or a helmet. Anyway, moving on. Like I said, if you drop armor or something, the people will react. They'll either say, "Don't spread your garbage everywhere," or I swear, is there no end to this uncouth savages just dropping their trash wherever they like? And actually, I'm glad they incorporated this. I'm actually happy because it makes the game feel more organic. I dropped a set of an armor once, and there was this blacksmith, I think. He walks up to me, engages in conversation, and says, that armor you just threw. Can I have it? And then you have the option to either say, fine, go ahead, take it, or don't touch it, it's mine, if you want to be a bastard. And I was thinking, like, that was so good. It made the game so more organic that I did not expect that. I mean, I saw a guy playing Skyrim and saying, like, when he dropped an item, he said, "What, you don't want that? I just dropped that there." And he's like, "Okay, I'll just pick it back up." And I was like, "Okay. Dropped it, so what?" But then when the guy asked me for the armor, I was thinking, like, that is amazing! They even went so far as to add that teeny tiny little detail. basically it. I'm not gonna try and keep you anymore here. This is bound to be one of my longest videos. Also one of my favorites, like I said before. And sorry if you think I dragged it out too much. I included a bunch of useful tips. Hopefully you think so. Leave me a comment below. Subscribe, like, and favorite my video. All of that cool stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next review. And the reviews for The Sims are coming. It's just that I'll just maybe when I'm kind of bored of Skyrim, which will kind of be a while, because as you can see, it's the only game that I'm playing, and I did get far in it, though I kind of cheated. Anyway, like I said, look for the mods, look for the game, buy the game. If you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Go and buy the game. It's awesome. Peace! Okay guys, sorry, I basically was an idiot again. No, yeah, I was an idiot. I forgot to tell you whether or not you should buy, pass, or rent on this game. Seeing all the praise and hearing all the praise that I've given this game during my review, you should already have picked up that you should buy it and not rent it. If you're one of the type of people that doesn't particularly like RPGs and doesn't really play video games, but you want to know why people are making such a big deal about this, I recommend buying it. If not buying it, either renting it. If not renting, either buy it cheap or buy a used copy. Although I don't know who in their right mind would want to sell a copy of Skyrim, unless of course they have like 2. Anyway, rent it if you're not sure, play it a little, see if you like it, and then make your decision whether or not you should buy it. But if you enjoy RPGs, you should definitely be enjoying this game. So, I don't normally rate games on a scale of 1 to 10, but for this, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a legendary. It has its faults, sure, but those faults really are overshadowed by everything it gets right. And with all the mods that you can install, it really is an RPG adventure to remember. And one last thing before I go, I will try, if possible, when I get my new laptop, I'll make a series with Skyrim. I'll create a new character and I'll make a new series. And hopefully you guys will watch it and you will support those videos, because I really want to do a walkthrough. Yeah, basically a walkthrough and or playthrough or let's play of Skyrim. Because I've been wanting to do it, and I am so happy that there is no problem that I can see so far with the recordings that I have been doing with this recording software. Like when I was doing my PSP ones, they were always interrupting when there were cutscenes. It was always making my PSP crash. So I'm just gonna be I'm happy that I can finally do this without being afraid of that. So I'll see you guys on the next video review. Peace.